Hey everybody, happy Wednesday here. I just wanted to pop on live and talk for a few minutes about the verse I posted last night. I posted that verse from Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That's the verse that's kind of been going through my heart and mind the past few days as I think about, our little motto here for 2018, the summer that we didn't give up. And I was thinking all weekend and into this week about why we don't give up. And it's not just because we've, made this decision. It's not just because we've said, hey, we're not giving up. It's not, just to fulfill a promise that we made or, to complete something. It's not simply that we're not giving up for the act of not giving up. It's that we're not giving up because we know that God has something on the other side. And so I love what this verse says. The Lord is making a promise to us that we will reap a harvest at the proper time if we don't give up. And I don't know what the proper time looks like for me or you. I don't know even what his harvest looks like. I just know that he's asking us to stay steadfast in the things that he's placed in front of us, to continue to be the person that he's called us to be, to walk the places where he's asked us to walk. And he said, you know what, if you do this, you will reap a harvest at the proper time. You just can't give up. And so that's really what it's all about. It's about knowing that God is doing something more than we can see right now, believing that he's in all of it, even if we don't understand why we're in any of it. We don't have to understand what's going on in our lives to stand on the promise that we know God is at work and he's doing something and he is going to show us. And I think sometimes the harvest is just seeing what God's doing, having a greater understanding of his love, finding out something else about who he created us to be and how he works in our lives and the way he partners with us. I think for me, living in Lancaster County, it's easy to think about harvest in the sense of a physical harvest. As we're coming down the line through summer, and we've had such an incredible amount of rain and a lot of great weather, the fields around here are just bountiful. And so it's easy for me to have this picture in my mind of what a harvest is supposed to look like, because I know that in a few more weeks, the farmers are going to be doing their harvesting. And it's going to be this tangible thing where, they're gathering what they've planted and they see what the harvest is, and it's probably going to be a better harvest than they've had in a long time. And they can kind of anticipate that as they're watching things grow. But it's not always like that in our lives. We don't really have these places of, a tangible takeaway of how big the harvest is going to be. We're just going through these moments and, fighting through our days sometimes, standing on this promise that we know that God is doing something and is going to show us at the proper time, but we're not always going to see it in the way of a tangible harvest. And so I want to shift my focus, and I want to encourage you to shift yours, that sometimes the harvest just is the way we meet the Lord. And sometimes we don't even know what that looks like in the moment. In the moment, maybe you're not aware of how God's meeting you or what he's speaking to your heart, but in the days after, when it's kind of all past, you get a greater sense of who he is and what he's been doing. But I know for me, the moments that have meant so much this summer are the places where God does just speak something little into my heart, because the little things truly are the big ones. And so as you're going through the rest of your summer, and as you're maybe looking forward to fall for different reasons, or just thinking, some of the stuff you're walking through will have been wrapped up by the time you hit September, I just want to encourage you that there is a harvest. There's a harvest for all of us if we don't give up. It might not be that physical harvest in the sense of, farmers bringing in the things from the field that they've planted and knowing that it's going to be big. But we too can know that it's going to be big even if we don't see what it is, because God is a good God who gives good gifts to his children, and you can stand on his promise with me. All right, have a great day, everyone.